up guys, it's Bear here at Morimoto, and if you have a 2007 through 2013 Toyota Tundra, this is going to be the video for you. We're going to be doing A-pillar installs with our 4Banger and also the fog light replacements. So the 4Bangers, we have two different levels. We have an entry level, which uses a Nichia chip, and we call this the NCS version. Now we have the secondary level. This is for the premium users, the off-roading, the top dog of pod lights. This application uses the Osram chip, and we call it the HXB or the HX Boost. So once you decide what application level you would like, you will then move on to what driving pattern you want. We have three different patterns to choose from: Spotlight, the wide, or a combo driving pattern. We have all three patterns in an amber or white. So with our wide pattern, many people are more so drawn to the wide pattern to help increase night visibility and to use it as a fog light replacement. No matter if you choose the NCS or the HX Boost pod light, you will experience the same driving beam pattern. Now with our combo beam pattern, it is a super cool spot beam with a little bit more fill. It still stacks up to the competition very well, but remember, most people will choose the white beam pattern over something like this. Now onto the spot beam pattern. Still an incredible bright beam pattern that is tight. It looks like a square that is done on purpose because we at Morimoto know a thing or two about beam patterns. All three patterns come in either a white or amber color. But one thing to note is your light output would be a little bit less with the yellow lenses. On the higher end, the HXB uses the Osram chip, but it doesn't come in yellow. The white light has to pass through the yellow lens and losing about 30% of its brightness. Still an incredible option. Something neat about the entry level, those Nichia chips do come in a yellow option. Having a yellow light pass through a yellow lens, it doesn't lose as much, so the light output is closely matched to that of the white counterpart. The overall footprint of the 4Banger is approximately 30% smaller than alternatives that offer comparable performance. This allows for an unbeatable 3OEM Plus light fitment when paired with Morimoto's fog light or A-pillar mounting kits. With a standard -3° aim, the beam pattern produced by the NCS wide beam model is designed to be compliant with the latest SAE F3 regulations for use as a street legal fog light. Now the HXB wide beam has a very similar beam pattern, but too much intensity to be considered a street legal fog light. And lastly, the 4Bangers have a limited lifetime warranty to show you that these are some of the best in the industry. So enough of talking, let's get straight into the install. All right, so first thing what we're gonna do to make sure that the hood does not move, so when we put the A-pillar brackets back in, we're gonna just take a piece of tape and just put it where the OEM bracket is. And we're just gonna get it in there nice and snug. And then you're just going to take a permanent marker and you're going to create a line. So this can make sure that your hood lays nice and flat again and has that perfect spacing on both sides. All right, now with the tape on and the lines on, I'm just gonna take a little razor blade and cut right down the center. All right, so now what you're gonna do is grab your A-pillar bracket, and in the packaging it comes with these two plastic little clips. You're going to go ahead and first install this little plastic one in this area and make sure it is vertical so you can run your wiring harness along the bracket. And then the last one is going to go right here on the inside area, and you're going to place that in there also. Now we got to remove these bolts. They're 12mm. What we're going to do is remove the top one first. Once you got that removed, you're going to take your A-pillar bracket. This goes up over the hood, and then this will go right here, and we're going to put that 12mm back in just loosely at first. So you're going to do the same exact thing for the bottom bolt. Once you got that removed, you're going to take your A-pillar and line it up. Make sure you try to do these by hand at first so you do not strip out any of the bolts. So as you saw when you removed the bottom one, the hood did move slightly, just a bit. So you need to make sure you get those lines mocked up just properly so that the bolt will go right back in. All right, now we got both of those back in. You may need a friend to help you out and just get the hood adjusted properly so that last bolt will go in with no threading. So we're gonna get these tightened right back in and keep on going. Once the passenger side is done, let's grab some 4Bangers and get those on. So now you're gonna take your Morimoto U bracket and you're gonna place it up on top of the A-pillar bracket, and you're gonna take the bolt and then the washer, One thing that you need to know, make sure that the U-bracket, the C part is pointing forward. And then we're gonna take the bolt and just get it nice and snug on there for right now. We're not gonna tighten it fully down yet. That way you can pivot and decide on what area and positioning of your 4-banger you want it to be at. Now go ahead and grab your 4-banger. What we're gonna go and use today is the Combo Amber, the HXB. So this is the premium 4-banger. You're gonna slide it into your U-bracket, and then you're going to take these 2 bolts and literally just bolt them right up on the side. And to tighten them down, you're going to use a T30 Torx bit. And of course, these bolts you can use to adjust the up and down position of your 4-banger. So what we're going to do, we're going to tighten all this down later. Let's go ahead and head over to the passenger side and put a 4-banger on, and then get straight to the harness. All right, now what we're going to do is go ahead and get the wiring harness installed. What we're going to do is go ahead and get the hood popped open. All right, now that you got your hood open, here's what you're going to be dealing with. This is the Morimoto wiring harness that comes with the 4-bangers. You have your Morimoto switch, a power, ground, 2 Deutsch connectors, and then also a relay. All right, so first off, we're going to go ahead and connect the 4-banger on the driver's side. On the harness is going to be called Light 1. So we're going to go ahead and get that plugged in with a Deutsch connector. All right, now that you got your first 4-banger connected, we're gonna go ahead and head over to the passenger side and get the second one connected. One awesome thing about this harness is that it actually comes with an extension just in case if your harness isn't long enough. All right, now go ahead and get your extension plugged in, and now we'll reach the passenger side. All right, so now we're just gonna route the harness over the motor. We're gonna get this nice and tidied up at the very end. Just gonna take the harness and plug it into your passenger 4-banger. All right, now with both of the 4-bangers plugged in, let's go ahead and mount the relay. All right, now that you got the relay, what we're going to do, you can literally install this wherever you want. Of course, just keep in mind with the length of the harness. Just make sure when you're installing this, it is vertical, not horizontal, so there's no water intrusion at all. So what we're gonna do is take a self-tapping screw and drill right here. You can literally zip tie or do whatever you want when you do your install. So now there's only 3 connectors left on this harness. You have the power and the ground, which we're going to deal with later. But now what we're going to go ahead and move on to is the actual switch part of the harness. A really cool feature on this is the waterproof connector. You can actually disconnect this, allowing it to be a little bit easier to pass this through the firewall without this big switch on it. So go ahead and remove the switch for now. All you have to literally do is screw off the center area and it pops right off. So there's 2 ways of installing this harness through the firewall. You could either use a step bit and actually drill through the firewall and use the rubber grommet that's provided on the harness, or you can actually run it alongside the existing harnesses that are going through the firewall. And in this case, that's what we're gonna do. All right, now that you got your harness through the firewall, you can then choose wherever you're wanting to put this switch. So here's where we're gonna be putting our switch right here. And what we're gonna do is drill a hole to 3/4 on this step bit. So a 3/4 inch hole will allow the switch to fit in there properly and nice and snug. Do not go any bigger than that because then your switch could fall through. But in this case, we're not gonna do that because the owner may want to put the switch elsewhere. But what I can show you is literally you're just going to drop this panel after you get the hole drilled. All right, so now that you got your panel removed, you're going to remove this silver lock washer right here on the Morimoto switch. Drop that down off the harness. And now what you're gonna do is take your Morimoto switch and you're gonna route it through that hole that you created. And you're gonna place it in there nice. And then you're going to take that lock washer and put it on the very back side. And then this washer, once you get it nice and snug against the plastic in the switch, it should keep the switch in place. Now that the switch is installed, don't forget to go up underneath the dash and connect the switch to the harness. All right, now that we're back at the engine bay, we're gonna go ahead and finish installing the harness. The last 2 things that you're going to be doing is your ground and power. All you have to do is disconnect your power. And the same thing on the ground side. And then you have this excess harness that's right here. Literally what you can do is take the cowl and drop it and then place it right in there and then tidy it up to whatever you would like to do with zip ties. And then the harness is done just like that. All right, now that we got the A pillars on, we're gonna go ahead and move over to the fog light replacements. With this kit, you do get it in a couple pieces, but very, very easy to install. What you're gonna literally do is take the 2 different pieces right here, make sure they're lined up properly, and you're just going to clip it in place. Once everything's lined up and snapped on, then you're gonna take these 4 little bolts right here, and then you're gonna drop these screws into the housing, and then you're gonna tighten them down. They're gonna be a T10. And you're just gonna repeat that 3 more times. You'll be good to go. All right, now that you got all those 4 bolts in, you're going to take the 4Banger, make sure that the M logo is up at the top. You're just gonna slide it right into place, just like so. And then once you got the 4Banger in, you're going to take these 2 screws, and there's 2 screw holes on the very sides. Just gonna drop those in, and that's gonna be a T30. You're just gonna tighten those in place. All right, now that you got the 4Banger installed in the bracket, you're going to take the harness adapter that came in the kit, and you're going to plug it up into the 4Banger. So this will allow you to connect to your OEM harness. So let's get down to the OEM fog light and get the 4Banger installed. All right, now that we're down here, we're going to remove both of these plastic notches that are right here. All right, once you have the plastic pieces removed, you're then going to take a 10 mil, and there's 2 bolts underneath that you're gonna be taking out. Once you got those up and out, we're then going to take the plastic piece out. All right, so now we're just gonna take this plastic trim out. You just kind of have to finagle it just a little bit. Just like so. This is gonna reveal your OEM fog light, which in our case, it has the XB fog light, and we're going to be removing that. So to take it out, you're just going to unplug it from the harness, and then there's this adjustment screw right here. All you have to do is push in the side ears of it, and then you're just gonna push on that, just like so. And then we're gonna go to the front of the truck, and there's 2 tabs, and we're gonna push on those, and then it should just pop right out. So I'm gonna be using a wedge tool to work it out from the front of it, and it's on the very sides of the fog light, and just like so. And with this fog light, you're going to be taking the adjustment screw off the back side. It's pretty simple. You're going to unscrew this screw out first, and then there's 2 little ears on the very side. You're just going to push those in, and this plastic clip's going to pop right out. Just like so. Just be careful when taking that plastic piece out that it doesn't go flying across the room just like mine did. But you're gonna take the plastic piece and you're gonna put it in your Morimoto 4Banger housing, and then you're gonna take that same exact screw and you're just going to screw it right back into place. So this is your adjustment screw. So this allows you to adjust the vertical direction of your 4Banger once it's back in place. Now we're gonna take the Morimoto fog light replacement and just pop that bad boy back in place. And when you're doing that, make sure that you line up that adjustment screw back into the hole as well, and you'll hear a slight click. All right, now you're just gonna go ahead and plug it in, and we're just gonna put that plastic piece back in. If you want, go ahead and get them tested out before you put the plastic piece back in, so you don't have to repeat that step all over again. Alrighty guys, well that is a wrap for our 4Banger installs for the 2007 to 2013 Toyota Tundra. If you want to find out what other products we have in store for you, don't forget to visit our website at morimotohid.com.